In How to Eat to Live, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad mentions during the 3-day fast to drink coffee or water. He did not mention tea. Is it advised to drink tea? If so, what tea would you advise? So, he said what he said. So I don't have an opinion that's different from that, but I would say that the more important thing is the fasting part itself. And I don't have a recommendation for tea, although it is true that for some people, the caffeine that might be in black tea or green tea might help as an appetite suppressant and help them to adhere to the fast or to carry the fast out. If for whatever reason, their personal situation, they don't drink coffee. So I don't know if it was an omission because he just didn't think about it because he wasn't much of a tea drinker, because there were things he says. I'm not mentioning every single thing. So write to me if you have a specific question. So we can't answer that as he would, but I would say in terms of, could you get some of the benefits in terms of the sciencey stuff that I was presenting? I would say you probably would get that if you didn't sweeten it.
I believe, and I really don't want to misrepresent what the Honorable Minister said, so I am asking for help. But I do believe, and it is my understanding, that it was the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, when he spoke about eating to live, that tea was mentioned. Okay, and since Dr. Akili agrees, I'm going to take it as fact. Okay, that was my understanding. And so it was, tea was added as an option or mentioned as an option or an alternative to coffee or in addition to coffee from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Absolutely. On that same note, one quick question was, how or are there ways to control sugar cravings? So if you are a coffee, tea drinker, it's natural to, if you're fasting. So the reason why that question keeps coming up similar forms is because your body mentally and physically wants to replace those sugar and carbohydrate cravings that you're used to having, right? So when you go to fast, if you're fasting from the regular food, your mind, not only consciously, but subconsciously will start to trick itself and say, well, where can I slip in a little bit more calories, a little more carbs? And your drinks are the number one way. That is the number one way that not only when fasting, but even when not fasting, most patients, their biggest calorie intake is their drinks. I, as a testament to this, and I'll get to how to curb those sugar cravings. When I first went on my weight loss journey, the first thing I did was stop drinking sugar drinks. I lost 40 pounds in a month. Wow. That was it. That was it. It was literally just, I don't want to drink sugar. And that's coffee. That's the lattes. That's, juice. That's pop. That's all of those different things. You cut those things out, even the type of protein shakes. I would get the super low sugar ones instead of the regular ones that taste good. You got the ones that don't taste good, right? But in terms of how to control sugar cravings, what I realized is that number one, burning calories actually controls cravings. And it's really counterintuitive that actively being active in your daily life. This doesn't mean you plan some big workout that happens. You want to do it every day, but you only do it twice a week or once a week. Not that. I mean, being active in your lifestyle. I mean, taking the stairs instead of the elevator. I mean, walking to work instead of busing, or driving. That was one of the first things that our beloved student, Supreme Cap, told me was just walk. Just walk. You ain't got to do nothing else, just walk. And those type of things, you'll notice that you're not thinking to eat as many times a day. Even the type of cravings that you have, your body actually starts craving what it needs and not what it wants.
There you go.
So when you're active, it says, I need protein. I need actual long chain complex carbohydrates, whole wheats, whole grains, not the quick fix, because that's just going to be like putting some super high octane energy into a car, into your old Pinto. Right? That's supposed to be in a Ferrari. That's super high octane. It's not supposed to be in the 64, right? And I think that that's what your body's doing. So being more active is the simplest way. I don't believe in a lot of dietary supplements to suppress hunger. That's like purely that. We've gotten trapped, and that doesn't mean that there aren't healthy options out there, but our community has constantly been trapped in these different marketing schemes, in these different medications, and far too often we find out that they have horrible health consequences But at the time, science hadn't caught up to that, or it was too quick to get to the market. So I only say beware of that, that there are natural ways to curb your appetite without saying, I just need a pill. And many times those are just gimmicks that can hurt you.
I would like for the neurologist to weigh in. Oh, and if Dr. Akili has something to add, because we have a How to Eat to Live expert that's here in the audience with us as well. Okay, the How to Eat to Live lecture, old school version at 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Infused tea.
Infused tea. Okay. But thank you for that. I wanted you to mention about the addictive, why we crave sugar, because it can be an addiction that's stronger than other drugs because your brain absolutely needs sugar. You know, it definitely needs it. And I don't know if you've had this experience, but even when I wasn't necessarily fasting, but took sugar out of my diet, I tell my patients that first 48 hours, how many people saw the movie Ray? Remember when them people stole his money? He was like, oh, I'm getting off this heroin. Oh, they got my money. I'm getting off this today. And he was in a corner, going through it. That's how you feel. Like for the first 48 hours of no sugar, you go through withdrawals, serious. But then if you can make it through that period, it actually gets better. Yeah, it actually gets better, but no, like for real. You ready to kill somebody? Like what? What you want? Your children like you want to eat again. But I would say that you will get those cravings, but if you know what to expect, sort of like labor, you know what to expect. It's not that it won't be painful, but on the other side of that, then it's beautiful.
I would only add that, and I think it's already been emphasized, there is a difference between what you desire versus what your body needs, as Brother Dr. Abdulah was saying. We have different ways that our body measures fullness. We have stretch receptors in our stomach that can feel mechanical stretching. And we also measure sugar levels in our body so that we know when we've reached enough. And so sometimes our stomach is growling and we assume that it's because we're hungry. But if you pause and think about it, no, maybe you just want to eat. And maybe if you're timing your schedule the way perhaps you should, and you're regular in your timing for when you eat, the only reason why your stomach is growling is because it's expecting. I'm trained that at this time I'm usually eating. Oh, I haven't made it home yet. I'm feeling what I guess you could call hunger, but it's more so the desire for the increase in sugar that I would ordinarily get around that time. So when we talk about cravings, that sounds more to me like will than it does an actual chemical dependence. And that's where honestly, I'm not certain. I do believe there is a chemical component as well that's very real. I bear witness. At first, but
20% of our sugar, like your brain, is like,
I honestly don't know the percentage. Okay. I just know our brain definitely needs glucose. Absolutely, it's essential. But
remember in study guide 18, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, again, he talks to us about the hypothalamus and how it regulates and how the measure of sugar in the bloodstream is the determinant for hunger pains. The measure of salt in the system is the determinant for thirst. But the hypothalamus is the lower part of the brain. So you'll notice that when you're busy and your mind is focused on a thing, you push right past dinner time. Right. You'll push right past when you're normally ready to go because the higher mind is already occupied and focused on something. So it is mind over matter. It is that. We just have to have the strength of will to exercise that through fasting, through practicing, and believing in ourselves that we can do it, because we prove it every day.